The room buzzed with laughter, the clink of glasses, and the soft hum of cheerful conversation. In the center of it all stood my wife, Emma, a radiant glow surrounding her as she cradled the curve of her belly, a symbol of the life she was carrying. It was supposed to be a celebration, her baby shower after all. The excitement in the air was palpable, yet I felt none of it. As I stood off to the side, I cleared my throat, a subtle but deliberate gesture that cut through the merriment like a sharp blade. "Congratulations, everyone," I said, raising my glass. My words hung in the air for a moment. Then I pulled a folded envelope from my pocket. The room went quiet. Emma's smile flickered, the tension in the air palpable. I turned toward her, my voice steady but laced with an edge. "This baby is mine." The silence that followed was suffocating. Emma and I had been married for 6 years. It started with passion, with love so intense that it felt like nothing could break us apart. But over time, the connection we shared had cooled, distanced by unspoken words, missed opportunities, and growing cracks that neither of us seemed willing to address. Emma had longed for a child, desperately wanted to become a mother, and after months of trying, she finally became pregnant. At first, I shared her joy, her excitement, but then something felt wrong. It started as a gut feeling, whispers in the dark of my mind, but the more I thought about it, the clearer it became. Late-night phone calls, unexplained absences, and that sickening feeling of being left in the dark. Still, I tried to push it all away, tried to ignore the nagging doubt, but only grew stronger with time. And then, at our anniversary party, Emma's best friend, drunk and careless, whispered in my ear, "She's been lying to you. That baby isn't yours." I wanted to dismiss it, to believe it was just drunken nonsense. But once doubt seeps in, it doesn't easily leave. I started paying closer attention to the small details, the way Emma guarded her phone, the quick glances she shot when she thought I wasn't watching. There were more calls, secretive conversations, things that didn't add up. It wasn't long before I found a text that would shatter everything. "I miss you." The name attached to it was unfamiliar. I confronted her that night, but she laughed it off, brushing it aside with the excuse of hormones and emotional swings. She was dismissing my concerns, my instincts. I didn't believe her. A week later, I took matters into my own hands. I took a DNA test, swabbing my own cheek, and then one night, when Emma was asleep, I took a sample from the prenatal test kit she had used. The results came 2 weeks later. 0% probability of paternity. I stared at the paper in disbelief. The man I had been was no longer there. I could have walked away, filed for divorce quietly, and let it all go. But I had been humiliated. I had been living a lie. And now, I would make sure everyone saw it. I began to gather evidence. Text messages, credit card statements, hotel bookings, timelines. I even found the man, Emma's coworker, who was the real father. He seemed to want nothing to do with it. Panic evident in his every move. Good. Let him suffer, too. As the baby shower drew closer, I played the part of the doting, clueless husband. I feigned excitement when Emma gushed about nursery colors, baby names, and our future. I smiled, but behind that smile, I was preparing. I was setting the stage for a moment that would destroy her. The day of the shower, I stood in the middle of the extravagant party, guests surrounding Emma with compliments and gifts. She basked in the attention, unaware of the storm that was about to hit. It was time. I stood, clinking my glass, and the room fell silent as I began to speak. "I just want to say how honored I am to be here," I said, my voice steady, unwavering. "To celebrate Emma, this incredible woman, and the beautiful baby she's carrying." She smiled, beaming with pride. But I wasn't done. "Before we toast, I have a little surprise," I continued, pulling the envelope from my pocket. My fingers were calm as I unfolded it. "This," I said, holding it up for everyone to see, "is a DNA test." The room went still. Emma's smile faltered, confusion creeping across her face. I pressed on. "A few weeks ago, I had some doubts. So, I did what any responsible father would do. I got tested." I turned the paper around, showing the results. "It turns out I'm not the father." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Emma's breath caught in her throat. She stammered, W what? But I wasn't done. Don't act surprised, Emma, I said, my voice low and cutting. You knew. You've known this whole time. The whispers around the room began, family and friends shifting uncomfortably, eyes darting between us. Her parents looked horrified, and Emma's face drained to color. Tears welled in her eyes. But I wasn't about to let her control the narrative. Please, let's talk about this privately, she pleaded. No, I interrupted, my voice unwavering. You've made a spectacle of this pregnancy. Now let's finish the show. I pulled out my phone and tapped the screen. A series of text messages appeared, projected onto the TV screen behind me. He thinks it's his. One text read, I feel awful, but I can't tell him now. We just have to play it cool until after the baby's born. Emma's face crumbled. Her mother gasped, covering her mouth. Her father stood abruptly, his chair scraping loudly across the floor. Oh my God, someone muttered in the back. But I wasn't finished yet. I turned to her best friend, the one who had let the truth slip in a moment of drunken weakness. You knew, didn't you? I asked. She looked down, unable to meet my gaze, the weight of betrayal heavy in the air. I let the silence stretch before delivering the final blow. I'm done, I said, my voice steady, unwavering. I'm done with the lies, the manipulation, the humiliation. Emma reached out to me, her eyes wild. Please, we can fix this, she begged. I stepped back. There's nothing to fix. Then I turned to the guests, my voice carrying over the room. For those of you wondering what's next, I'll tell you. I've already filed for divorce. I gestured to the lawyer, standing in the back. The papers are ready. Emma's face fell. No, you wouldn't, she whispered, but I smiled a cold, empty smile. I already did. The room erupted in murmurs, and the final twist came when I turned to the real father, standing stiff and nervous in the back of the room. Congratulations, I said, my voice dripping with irony. You're about to be a dad. Hope you're ready. He paled. Emma collapsed into a sobbing mess. But I felt nothing, not anger, not sadness, just freedom. The party ended in disaster. Guests trickled out, whispering in hushed voices. Emma's parents refused to look at her. I walked out without a backward glance, the weight of everything lifting off my shoulders. In the weeks that followed, I finalized a divorce, settled my assets, and stepped into a new chapter of my life. Emma tried calling, texting, begging to talk. I never responded. She had made her choices, and now she would live with them. I wasn't bitter. I wasn't broken. I was free. Betrayal doesn't just break a heart. It sharpens it. Emma thought she was playing a game, but she underestimated me. And now, as I stepped into my new life, I realized something. Revenge wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something better. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching.